and it's played on my mind a considerable amount. I don't just feel uncomfortable now by sitting with people eating animals. I cannot and will not sit with people eating animals.
Hello beautiful beings, it's Rebecca, the vegan pixie warrior, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am talking to my good friend Daniela from UK Vegan Family. She's decided over Christmas to take the Liberation Pledge. If you don't know what that is, I'll pop a link up so you can find a video of mine where I talked about my Liberation Pledge and why I took it. Hope by the end of this video you'll be able to relate to Daniela and what she's saying and be inspired to take the pledge. Enjoy the video.
Hi Dani, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Vegan Pixie Warrior. You've been on before and we kind of know each other separately a little bit as well. We've got to know each other the last few months, but for those of the audience that don't know who you are, can you tell us a little bit about how you became vegan?
Yeah, absolutely. So my parents made a decision before we were born, that they were going to raise their children vegetarian. My mum has been vegetarian since she was the age of 6, since she made the connection to animals and the meat and everything. So that was, always her idea with raising her children. So I've never eaten animals. I've never eaten meat. I've never eaten fish. And up until I was 32, I was quite happy with being vegetarian. I've always had strong feelings that, I would never eat animals. I've always been very against it. I didn't know anything else as to what happened in the dairy and egg industry, as I never knew about it. But becoming a mom, I made a connection to cow's milk being breast milk through breastfeeding our son. And that started a journey towards veganism. I went on to oat milk and I made a decision as a family, although Adam, who obviously isn't here today, he wasn't vegan or vegetarian, but I made a decision that Jack would not drink cow's milk. And it was a few months down the line that I came across a speech by James Aspey and decided that as a family we were going to do Veganuary. And we've been vegan 19 or 20 months now. And it still is the best decision we've ever made, 100%. I feel like everything that I believed is just aligned. I've aligned my morals to my actions. It feels like I should have done it ages ago.
It just makes everything slot into place, doesn't it?
Yes.
Does that sound right?
Absolutely.
And for me, it was the same as the dairy cow. But I ate meat for 40 years, so I made the decision quite late in life. And
it's never too late to change.
No, better late than never, isn't that what they say?
Yes, definitely.
So if you want to tell us a little bit about what you and Adam are doing for your YouTube channel, and then I'll tell people why I've invited you on today on your own, because you usually come as a pair.
We do. So we are UK_ vegan family, and we decided to set our YouTube up after about 4 or 5 months doing Instagram, just showing the foods we were eating. We documented Veganuary and Challenge 22, and we wanted people to see how easy it was and see the foods that we were eating that we didn't really know about, things like seitan and some crispy tofu and tempeh, stuff like that. Adam decided that we needed to take it a bit further and actually blog and vlog videos, shopping trips, stuff like that. And he decided that we were going to do YouTube, which originally I wasn't too happy about because I didn't like being on camera. Actually, that was sort of the basis of it.
But you're so natural at it, though.
Yeah, I still don't.
That never comes across.
I still don't really like it, but I think for what we want to do, I kind of had to get over it. But I think being vegan parents, there's a lot of negative views in regards to raising vegan children. And this is something that my mum, when she was raising vegetarian children, has always been up against. So I'm quite aware of negative views on you know, people raising their children differently. But for us, it's about normalizing vegan children. It's about normalizing us families. You know, we're teaching our son about animal ethics, why we don't eat animals. We're teaching them a little bit about, you know, the environment and health. And that's what we want to get across. We want people to know that it is completely safe to raise your children vegan, and there is other people out there doing it. You're not alone. So that is very much the basis of what we are. But we try to do a range of things like ethics. I mean, I'm a vegan runner, so I do a couple of those videos, and we do live streams to chat to other vegan families, basically, and just have a good old time.
And normalize it as well, because
Yeah, exactly. Vegan families need each other, because it's quite lonely that, you know, not everybody is confident to say, hey, I'm raising my children vegan, because of the negativity from the opposition. I mean, those of you who might know, we were targeted back in the summer by the anti-vegans, but what they don't realize is that helped us grow. It helped us find our feet, and here we are, you know, normalizing vegan children and wanting to get out there. So it really is about normalizing vegan children.
Yeah, 100% behind you. I mean, I'm not a parent myself, but I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
I think it's fantastic, because I know of vegan parents that struggle with it. So it's nice to have someone out there and backing them up, really. Definitely.
I always try to offer support where I can. You know, I always try and keep a list of documents that I can send to people who want to know more, and, you know, I'm always happy to do that, and share recipes as well.
And your recipes are great. In fact, I think I might get you to do my meal plans for the next month, because I need to.
I could do that.
And the reason I've invited you on today is you told me a bit of good news in the last week. You've decided to take the Liberation Pledge.
I did. Yes, I did. It's something that I have been thinking about for a while, but on the 29th of December, I decided that was it. I think I've been quandering it about 6 months. The issue for me is that by trade, I'm a nurse. So there's lots of things in my job which cross over with my lifestyle, and I tend to keep it, you know, this is my job and then this is me. So, but because of COVID and everything like that, I have been working from home. I've been lucky enough to work from home, so it hasn't really been an issue. But during this time that I've been working from home, I watched Dominion. And being that I've always been vegetarian, I've never seen animal slaughter footage before, up until, you know, we went vegan. I saw a little bit, and it's played on my mind a considerable amount. I don't just feel uncomfortable now by sitting with people eating animals. Adam used to eat animals, and I just sort of coped with it, although I didn't like it. But now it is a real, I cannot and will not sit with people eating animals in social situations. So the Liberation Pledge for me just fits in with exactly who I am. I will not do it. But obviously with work, I have to put that aside. And I guess when I go back to work and I'm sitting with people who are eating animals, then that's something I'm going to have to, you know, deal with at the time. But right now, any social situations, I will not be sitting at a table with people eating animals. And it just makes me feel better in here that I'm no longer having to be in that situation.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's called the Liberation Pledge, and I found it quite liberating taking the pledge. Like I've liberated myself from, you know, that anxiety that I was feeling.
That's what it is. It's anxiety. There's been several times where before COVID, we've sat down with family members and I'm just sort of waiting, and then you see that they're eating like lamb, and I'm just, I cannot do it anymore. Simple as.
So was it watching Dominion that inspired you to take the pledge?
I would say Dominion. I mean, we watched a little bit of Earthlings when we first went vegan, and I knew what went on, but Dominion has left has left an impact on me that I struggle to shake off sometimes. It's like always there. When I go in the supermarkets, you're faced with dominion because you know what's happened to those animals before they got packaged into people's meals. For me, animals have never been food, so I've always struggled with that. But the Liberation Pledge just finalizes that for me, and I know that people aren't going to probably appreciate it. There's lots of situations that are going to come up in the future that, you know, are going to be challenging, especially with raising a family. But this is something that I'm doing for me. This was my decision, and it's something that I've thought a lot about, and I'm really glad that I've done it, because it might, with lots of family members, make them think, well, actually, yeah, I'm going to try a vegan meal. I'm going to eat this with Dani. But I think I could never go and sit in a non-vegan restaurant now. I don't actually think I could. So it'll always be, yeah, we'll go for something to eat, but this is where we're going to go on this occasion. And I don't think that's a big ask. There's 6 days in the week, so it's one meal out of a week, or maybe out of a month.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how often do you actually eat out? I mean, before COVID,
not very often.
This last year has been difficult for all of us, I think, but I probably ate out with my family once a month before COVID. So have you told your family and friends yet that you've taken the pledge?
I've shared it on social media. As of yet, I haven't obviously seen my family, and my family will 100% respect that, because most of them are vegan now. But Adam's side, that's a conversation we need to have. Usually when there's meals and stuff, sometimes it's Adam goes with his dad, they'll go for a meal, and obviously I'm at home with Jack. But this is something that needs to have a proper discussion. But because of COVID, it's really difficult to, I mean, I think right now we can't be with our families, so that, and it's not something that I necessarily want to share with them on social media. I want to have that discussion to explain, this is something I've decided and this is why. It's also another discussion around the animal ethics as well. So dropping seeds.
Definitely. I mean, that's the one thing I found. The most positive thing about the Liberation Pledge is it opens up that conversation about what happens to the animals.
Yeah.
And it's so weird. It's before it was just like walls up, arguments, fighting. Oh, sorry, we've got a visitor. I'll leave him in. Usually I'll stop and pause the video, but I'll leave him in. Let's have a little bit of normality in the YouTube channel. But I found that it doesn't now. It opens up the conversation. It's a lot more relaxed. They want to talk about it. They're interested in it. I feel like they must feel that, well, Rebecca's done this. She's taken it this far for her veganism that she's refusing to sit with us. It must mean something to her, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's why it answers, opens up the floor to questions with them, but they're a lot more receptive. They haven't gone vegan yet. But I have reached out to the Liberation support page, and on there, some people have managed to get people to go vegan from taking the pledge. So it is definitely a form of activism, 100%. 100%.
Talking about that page, actually, that was the final thing for me, Rebecca. I put a post on there asking for advice for my situation. Because of my profession, am I able to do that or not? And people actually said that, this is very much down to you. I think one person said, no, you can't do that. And there was plenty of other people that were like, well, in your social situations, 100% you can do this. And it was down to that post and all the support I had that I decided there and then, right, that's it. Easy, I'll do it.
Okay, so you haven't told your family and friends yet that you've taken the pledge?
No, not yet. I think that's something that I'm going to have, that telephone discussion. I'd rather it be face to face, actually, but it's not really something we can really do yet.
Zoom call, video call, maybe?
Probably. Yeah, I think that's probably the best way. I mean, with my family, they're going to be really understanding anyway. I can probably see that my family would be wanting to maybe even do the same. But Adam's family, it's going to be things like going to theirs for food in the future. And I mean, they're normally pretty good anyway. His mom has always, put on vegan things. But it is that, no, there will never be a Christmas dinner with me sat there if you're eating bird or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And any other get-togethers, no.
Yeah, we've had that. I'm quite looking forward to. I mean, we don't have the room to have a big family Christmas in our kitchen. It's not massive, but I am looking forward to when we extend the back and we have a big table and inviting my husband's family over, because he hasn't taken the pledge either. And my husband's family reaction was, "That's really extreme."
Okay.
But and oh well, I'm never gonna order the vegan option when I'm out. But we've just had, when I told them about it the first time, I just had my last meal out with meat eaters.
Okay.
Because it had already been booked, and I kind of decided like a day or two before, so I wanted more time to tell them and prep them for what I decided to do. So but that meal that we'd had, a part of Dan's family actually chose the vegan option in the restaurant. So I was like, well, how can you say that you won't choose it when you just had it? And most of the time you choose a vegetarian option when you're out as well. So it will be fine. There's always options available. But I'm looking forward to it because I know Dan's family will come over and they'll spend Christmas Day, and there'll be certain parts of my family that won't come over, and they will feel left out and they'll come over the next time. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. But I'm not going to mention names of who they are because they have just subscribed to my YouTube channel and I don't want to upset them.
No.
So the usual question I ask is, have you had any difficulties with this? But obviously you've only just taken the pledge. We're in lockdown anyway, so there's not really much of a chance. What do you think are going to be your biggest challenges moving forward with this pledge?
Things like birthday parties as Jack gets older, things like that are going to be challenges because, I mean, the thing is, what I would probably do is eat before I go, so that, Jack can go to birthday parties in the future and eat vegan foods. I mean, that's always a challenge anyway, but normally, by speaking with other parents, they're pretty good. But usually it's everybody eats. Well, I'm not going to do that. And I'm also not going to say to Jack, well, you can't go to your party because mommy has made this pledge. So this is my decision.
Yeah.
So it will just be a case of plan ahead and eat before I go out or eat when I get home. But I won't sit down and eat with people eating animals. Never again.
No, same. I had a friend's birthday over the summer and she invited me over. They were having a barbecue. I said, let me know when you're going to be finished with the barbecue and I'll come over afterwards. And I went over. When I got there, they were still eating. So I just waited outside the gate, and it was only like 10 or 20 minutes and someone else came out and just spoke to me. So I wasn't on my own, which was really nice. Someone I didn't know as well. I hadn't met them before.
Yeah.
So that was lovely. And then we had friends from uni that were visiting Bristol. And there's quite a few of us that live in this area now. So we all went round to a friend's house and they said they're going to be having a barbecue. They let us know when it was finished and me and my husband went round there afterwards. So we were still part of that, but we just, took ourselves out of the food bit. So
that's what I would do. I mean, normally when people have barbecues, I don't tend to go anyway. We tend to do a lot of stuff ours. We always have rather good barbecues. So I'll come here, but there's no animal products here. So you come here, you'll get fed really well, but you don't bring animal products here. And I think that's what we'll do. We'll always say, yeah, come here, we'll have a meal. But obviously I'm cooking or we'll have a vegan takeaway. That's how I think we're going to get around it.
I think it'll be good to check back in a year to see how you've got on with the pledge.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I wanted to talk to you about it. When you said you were going to do a video on your channel, and definitely do a video about it on your channel, about the pledge. It's brilliant. But I'm so glad that you agreed to let me talk to you about it, because you've just taken it. I think everyone I've spoken to so far has been doing it for a while and they haven't, they've had experiences. So You know, I've done some videos on my experiences before lockdown, negative and positive with the pledge. But obviously since March, I, you know, haven't had much time. And the time that I did have when they lifted the lockdown between like July and October, the only times I actually went out to eat in that time was with activists. So we were doing a Cube of Truth and we went for food afterwards. So everyone was vegan. So it wasn't an issue.
I think work will be my challenge though, going back. Yeah. I say obviously in the social situation with my team, I used to eat with my team, like we would, but this is before watching Dominion. So I would sit down and eat with my team and we'd have a chat and a natter, but that I won't be able to do now. I can't take those images out of my head. So it just feels like the right thing to do.
No, I mean, when I was at work, people would say to me, do you mind me sitting here and eating this food? And I'd be like, no, I don't mind. But in all honesty, I did, yeah. And there were a few times where I sat on my own at work, eating my lunch, and people would come over and go, can I sit here? And I'd say, you know, what are you eating? And I said, do you mind if you don't? And I'd just say, look, you know, I don't want to sit with people that are doing that. So, but then there'll be times when some work colleagues would come over to me. They'd known, you know, because it was a big office, didn't know everybody there, but the few that knew I'd taken the pledge would come over, and there was one friend in particular, she would actually make vegan food on purpose so she could sit with me, so I wasn't on my own. So
that's brilliant.
Yeah, you never know, that might happen with you. I mean, look at Kirsten, who I interviewed a couple of months ago. She's had like vegan buffets put on at her work because of the pledge. So you just never know, do you? The effect.
My work are really supportive of me anyway. We've had a couple of things where they've, you know, made sure I've had a vegan cake or something, and you know, they've been really good. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a challenge, but it's a chance for me to speak up. And got the Equality Act 2010 to support us in the workplace. So, you know, although this is very much my decision, the anxiety and the distress it will cause me by sitting down at a table with people eating animals, I just don't want to go there.
Yeah, I think we should keep this as part one. I think my other questions don't apply at the moment because they are people that have been doing it for a while. So I'd like to follow back if that's okay with you, and just see how you're getting on.
Definitely.
Once this madness has hopefully lifted. So, but yeah, thanks again for coming on. And if you haven't been to Daniela and Adam's channel, please check out UK Vegan Family. They've got a great project on at the moment as well, where they're trying to veganize, you know, make veganism normal in schools as well. So I'll pop a link up to an interview I did with them, and I'll also pop some links below in the description to their channel and their school project that they've got going on.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. And good luck with the pledge. And I'm always here if you need support or
Definitely.
advice.
Thank you, Rebecca.
I hope you enjoyed that. Daniela is so lovely. She's so warm. Don't forget to go over to UK Vegan Family and check out their YouTube channel. I'll pop a link in the description below. If you have been inspired by what Daniela has said and what we've discussed in this video to take the Liberation Pledge, then please comment below and let me know. Massive thank you to my Patreons that support me on my Patreon page. Thank you very much. Couldn't do this without you. If you want to support me in making more content and getting out there on the streets and doing activism, then please check out my Patreon page below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like and share this video, and I'll see you next time.